prepare the case. Grab the front panel from the bottom and remove it like this. There is an opening for your hand here, so you just pull it off. There are also some spots here where you can secure the front panel with screws if you ever break any of those plastic tabs, but you shouldn't need that. Okay, so we removed the front panel to keep it safe and secure. Now we're gonna remove side panels. Just slide them back like this. One, two. Okay. The power supply is already installed in this case, so I'm not going to be showing you how to install it, but it's very simple. You just slide it in. 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can turn it upside down with the fan facing up, so you're going to be using then this, and this hole. But it's not recommended because it's better for power supply to draw air from the bottom. That's why there is a meshed filter here, and it exhausts hot air from the back. Now if you're gonna put it on some high carpet or something, and if you have a lot of dust on your floor, that part's gonna become really dusty with time, block the airflow, and power supply may overheat, so just watch it. Power supply already in, so we don't need to do anything with it. Now release all these cables here. Okay, that's just power supply cable. We're gonna keep it for future use. Now there are a bunch of wires coming from the front panel. As you can see, there's power button here, reset, LED indicators, USBs, audio connectors. These are all of them. USB 3.0, USB 2.0, audio connector, HD audio, and that's for HDD LED, power LED, reset button, and power button. So they're all going to be connected to the motherboard. Now, the best way to route them is to hide them somewhere. And that's what we're going to do. Just like that. Do not pull on them because you can break the connections on the front and then you have to solder them. Now we get rid of those cables. All the cables gonna be going through the back of the case, so you're not gonna see them. There is no window in this case, but still it's better to hide them out of the way so they do not restrict the airflow or anything like that. And if there is a window, it's gonna look much prettier that way. So all the cables go to the back. Some connectors are sharp, so be careful with that. Like that. Carefully pull them to the back. Nothing left here. This wire, I'm gonna show you. This. I'm gonna take a zip tie. There's gonna be a motherboard and a CPU fan connector here. So what I'm gonna do, just grab it like that. Make a bunch like this, and then use a zip tie. Then I'm gonna connect it to the motherboard later. Okay, now nice and clean here, a bunch of wires in the back. We're gonna install the motherboard and connect everything as we go. Let's see. Spare parts, some zip ties, screws. I'm gonna open the bag up. Okay, now the motherboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mounting points. You have to match them up with what you've got in your case. In this particular case, I can see that this standoff is here. It should be here for this particular motherboard because it's really a small motherboard. So I'm using tools like this. Just a screwdriver. I'm moving that stand off here. Do not over tighten. We're gonna strip the thread. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Some bigger motherboards gonna use 7 and 8. But in this case it's only 6. Rear input output panel shield. This metal things here, I just flatten them a little bit so they don't stick out too much, but you don't have to bend them back and forth out of the way because they are actually needed for a contact in case there is a short or something. They're gonna be contacting the ports on the back of the motherboard. So you place it like this. Just align carefully and then push it in till it snaps in place. That's it. Now I'm ready to install the motherboard. Carefully goes in like that. Make sure no wires anywhere. Match the rear ports and the holes here. All 6 of them. You take a screwdriver. Now there are screws. It's hard to see on the camera. Smaller thread on this one with a flat head like this. That's a bigger one, that's for power supply and like video cards. Those with smaller thread like this are for the motherboard in most cases. Well, it's hard to get it in focus because it's so small, but you'll figure it out. Just try a few, don't force them again. If it doesn't go in, probably doesn't belong there. So we got 6 of them. 1, 2, now let me see, I got a bunch here. 3, 4, oops, 5. Magnetic screwdriver helps a lot in this case. And the last one, find one here. Okay. And this wire, like I showed you before, now I'm ready to connect it. It's a case fan header right in this place. A little dark, but it's there. Okay. Make sure the cable is not getting in the fan.